themselves as a Palestinian today walk a mile in occupied shoes. As I said, my name is Leena Barakat, and as for those of you who don't know, as Kaylan said, I am a Palestinian. What does that mean exactly? Why even question it? I never really knew, nor did I question it until I took a trip and was given the opportunity to study abroad in Palestine a few years ago, and have been continuing my studies there every single summer since then. This experience changed my life forever. During my time there, I spent hours upon hours standing in lines at checkpoints that resembled animal cages. I witnessed the humiliation of Palestinian men, women, and children on a daily basis by Israeli soldiers who enjoyed the privilege and power of their positions as oppressors. I watched 4 soldiers pretend that they were in a video game, or acting as if they were, as they took turns shooting shots at an 11-year-old boy wearing a red shirt. He had to run in this sort of direction, left and right, to dodge their shots. That day, I'll never forget that day. It was the 4th of July. I was there participating in a nonviolent protest in the village of Na'alin. This village is known today as being one of the popular models of nonviolent struggle. What they're doing there, the IDF soldiers, is they are currently building the apartheid wall through their land. So what you have, the way this village goes, is you have on this side where the people live, and on this side is where their oak groves, their olive trees, and their almond trees are. Since the beginning of this village's days, this village has been known to support these sort of resources for the land around them. And for the villagers who live there, it is their source of income. And what they're doing is building the wall right across it, cutting them off of their source of income, cutting them off from schools that are on that other side of the land. So what have they been doing every single Friday? It's people from all around the world, the International Solidarity Movement, people from everywhere come there and participate in nonviolent protests with the villagers, chanting slogans, redefining their own pride, dignity. What do they get in return? Rubber-covered steel bullets, live ammunition, and tear gas shots fired in return. I remember several of them being fired into the air and me running for them, and I've never ever felt that anymore since that day, that feeling of literally running for your life. I remember seeing a tear gas canister in front of me, trying to dodge it, so I ran the other way, but in the meantime was shot in the back of the leg with another one. I fell to the ground. My lungs felt like they were collapsing. I couldn't breathe. I couldn't see. All I remember is people picking me up. Actually, I don't really remember it. I saw a videotape of it. People picking me up and dragging me to the back of the building, being taken care of by people I had no idea who they were. The person who was hosting us that night, our group, and the people I came with, they were not even activists, people from Europe, people from Switzerland, people from Belgium, France, Italy, the US. I was with 10 Californians, actually. The person who was hosting us is this man named Mahmoud, 24 years old, married the year before, and proud of his newborn baby. He went out to get a few more people to guide them to their home. He didn't come back the same. He was shot in the head, the side of his head, in the bullet, and came home, was dragged home with it there. He died 3 weeks later, not because of the wound to his head, not because of the bullet that was there. He lasted 3 weeks. He died because of the infection that happened, because the lack of the medical aid Israel would allow into the village. They placed a siege around the village and a curfew. No one allowed in, no one allowed out. Not medical aid, not ambulances, not villagers who lived there. He died because of the infection. This is the kind of thing that people have to go through every single day over there. Now think about the obstacles you go through. I mean, let's talk about something else. I mean, how many of you every once in a while will check the weather before getting dressed in the morning? How many of you have checked a traffic report before your drive home from school? As a Palestinian, it's a little bit different. You, as a Palestinian, are facing the obstacles of 546, or a little bit more than that now, 546 checkpoints in the West Bank alone. Checkpoints that separate from village to village, separate families, separate you from your work. So just taking, maybe say from point A to point B, what should be 15 minutes. And I worked at the United Nations Relief Works Agency, and I had to plan my what would have been 15-minute drive, say from here to UCSD, 20 minutes. I have to plan an hour or two in advance. Why? Because I don't know if this checkpoint is going to be open, if they're closing the roads, if the wall is going to hinder me. I mean, the wall's cutting them off, so instead of going straight from point A to point B, I have to go all the way around. I have to use Palestinian-only roads, even though I'm an American citizen, born and raised here. Okay, and I'm talking from up here as an American. I'm not talking as a Palestinian. These roads, you want to talk about apartheid, you have perfectly paved roads, brand new concrete, kind of like you see out here. And then next to them, or not maybe next to them, apart from them, you have dirt-only roads. I'm going to let you guess which ones are the Jewish-only roads and which ones are everyone else's roads. Tell me that's not apartheid. Tell me that's not a symptom of apartheid. I don't need to convince anyone of that. You need to see the facts for yourself. The pictures are there. So these are just some of the obstacles that they have to go through every single day. Other obstacles, forget the checkpoints or the wall. Just going to the grocery store or visiting a friend is such a stressful task. You have to plan ahead because of how much you have to plan ahead. Checkpoints that can take 2 to 6 hours. I remember staying in line for 6 hours, missing a show I wanted to go to, and I was stuck at a flying checkpoint. What is a flying checkpoint? A flying checkpoint means it's not a regular checkpoint. It's not like the Colombia checkpoint or the checkpoint in Khalil, which you know you're going to approach, you know you have to go through. A flying checkpoint means you're driving on the road, and suddenly out of nowhere, they decided to put one in for the day. They're stopping every car, taking every single person out, checking you. Apart from that, if you want to go to the grocery mart, by the time you get to the grocery store, your vegetables, your fruits, they're not fresh anymore. Why? Because the delivery trucks that deliver these fresh fruits and vegetables have to go through the same thing you did. And oftentimes they're turned around. And by the time they finally do get to the grocery mart in which you're about to buy your supplies for the day, fruits and vegetables are not fresh anymore. Worse, if you're a Palestinian refugee